So in point 3, we're going to see in verse 38 that Jesus is going to teach us that we need to interact with our fellow human beings a lot differently than we were taught to react. So here's what he says in verse 38. You've heard it said, or you've heard the law that says the punishment must match the injury. Law of retaliation, right? An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I say to you, do not resist an evil person. If somebody slaps you on the right cheek, offer them the other cheek as well. Now again, they're going, golly, come on, Jesus, what's going on here? This was unthinkable to Jesus' audience. Why? Because they lived in a culture much like ours that thrived on revenge and retaliation. Sound familiar, right? We live in a world today that says if you hurt me, I'm going to hurt you back even worse. And we do it on social media. We do it through our politics. We do it in our families. And sadly, we even do it in our churches from time to time. And in any one of those environments, you can turn these battlegrounds of offense into payback and payback to offense and offense into payback and back and forth, back and forth. And Jesus says, stop, not in my kingdom. That's not what I'm about. He even says it again in verse 43, 44. He goes on in another passage just right after this. He says, you also have heard it said that you should love your neighbor. And then they perverted this law, love your neighbor and then hate your enemy, right? But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Friend, this is next level living, I'm telling you. This is radical love, next level living. This is what's going to separate the followers of Jesus from everybody else. The world looks at us and says, what makes you different? This is what makes us different. This is radical love. And it's the ultimate evidence of a heart that's been transformed by grace. Now, let me give you a picture. Let me give you a story of what this looks like in real life. Desmond Doss was a U.S. Army medic during World War II. And because of his Christian convictions, he refused to carry a weapon in battle. And his fellow soldiers actually mocked him for it. They bullied him and they called him a coward. But Doss never retaliated. Instead, he loved and served the very men who hated him. And one day on a battlefield at Hacksaw Ridge, under relentless enemy fire, Desmond Doss, as a medic, single-handedly rescued 75 wounded men, lowering them to safety one by one. That's what he did. During the hours of rescue, here's what he prayed. He said, Lord, help me get one more. Lord, help me get one more. And his courage was recognized. His courage and love earned him a Medal of Honor. And Desmond Doss showed the world what it looks like to love your enemies and serve those who mock you. You may say, Pastor, that's a great story, but I don't think I'll ever serve in a war zone, and I hope you never do, right? I hope you never do. It's inspiring. But maybe you're in a different type of war zone today. Maybe your war zone is your home. Maybe it's your work environment. Maybe it's at school. Maybe it's even at church. Maybe your enemy is someone who's betrayed you or gossiped about you, or maybe they broke your trust. A few years ago, the world witnessed another example of radical love. In 2018, 26-year-old accountant named Botham Jean, a young man in Dallas, was tragically shot in his own apartment. At the sentencing of the woman who took his life, Botham's younger brother, Brant Jean, took the witness stand and did something extraordinary. From the witness stand, he looked at the woman, and here's what he said to her. I forgive you. I love you as a person. I don't even want you to go to jail. I want the best for you. I want you to give your life to Christ. And then, hold on, you're going to want to clap in a second. And then, with the judge's permission, he walked over and he hugged her. Isn't that amazing? The courtroom was stunned. Yeah, amazing. And some of you might remember this because this moment actually went viral in 2018. And why? Because the world doesn't understand this kind of grace. You see, that kind of forgiveness doesn't make any earthly sense, but it makes complete sense in the kingdom of Jesus. And that's the love that Jesus commands, radical love. It's not optional. It's not just for quote-unquote super Christians. It's for every single, everyday disciples, followers of Jesus just like me and you. And why do we do that? Jesus tells us why in verse 45 in Matthew 5 as he wraps up his teaching. He says, when you do this, when you treat people this way, with radical love, in that way, you now will be acting as true children of your Father in heaven. For he gives his sunlight both on the evil and the good. In other words, he gives grace to everybody. And then he also sends his rain on the just and the unjust alike. He pours out his grace and his favor. And someone would read that and go, but what about God's judgment for the actions that have been done to me? Let God be the judge. He'll take care of their actions. How's that sound? You just keep pouring out his love and his grace and let God take care of the conclusion. That's what he's teaching us here today. Jesus says, love the people you want to avoid. Forgive the people who don't deserve it. Bless the people who annoy you. And there's lots of them. You can give out lots of blessings every single day in our world, right? Boy, they annoy me. God bless you. God, and you, and you, and you get a new car, and you get a new car, and you get a blessing. Somebody watched Oprah, right? Yeah. Give out blessings. Lots of people to bless, right? Lots of people. How about this? Pray for the ones who hurt you. Ouch, that one hurts. I don't like that one. That's a tough one. But why should we do that? Why should I love the people I want to avoid? Why should I bless the people who annoy me? Why should I forgive the people who don't deserve it? Why should I pray for people who hurt me? Why? Because that's what God does. He loves us when we don't deserve it. Now again, I'm not making this up. This is what the Bible teaches. Check it out, Romans 5:8. Here it is. Romans 5:8. But God showed his great love, say it with me, for us. By sending Christ to die, say it with me, for us. When? While we were still sinners. Let's personalize it. Ready? Here we go. God showed his great love for you by sending Christ to die for you while you were still in sin. So why should we treat people this way? Because that's how God treats us. That's how God treats us. We get the model from him. And friend, I know this is hard. I really do. I jokingly say sometimes with sermons like this, you guys get to hear it once. I hear it 4 times. And I had to prepare it. And then it sticks with me all week afterwards, right? God's working on our hearts on this stuff. I totally get it. Radical love feels impossible in our own strength. And that's why we don't love people in our own strength. We love with God's strength flowing through us. So what's our response? Our response, here's what I want you to do. Pull out your notes. If you got a notepad or a piece of paper or your phone, here's what I want you to do. I want everyone to do this. Think of one person who's wronged you. You probably already know who it is. Put their initials or just write a name. Don't draw any pictures of their faces, right? Just put their initials. You can draw some weird pictures, right? Think of one person who's wronged you. Here's what I want you to do next. Ask God, right, to help you pray for them by name this week. Pray for them. And then here's the third radical part. Ask God to give you grace to forgive. Ask God to give you grace to bless them. And ask God to give you grace to love them even if they never apologize. I had to put that one in there. What if they don't apologize? The Bible doesn't say not to do these things, only if they if they don't apologize, you don't have to do them. Do it anyways. That's what I want you to do. Because, friend, this is where your righteousness is going to go beyond the rules. You see, anybody can love people who love them back. How do we know that? Because that's how Jesus ends the entire dialogue with the people of his day. He gets to the very end in verse 47, and here's what he says. If you are kind only to those who are your friends, then how different are you from anyone else? Even the pagans do that. Verse 47. So how's the world going to know that we're any different? It's the way we treat people. Radical love. So Compass Church, let's be different. Let's live different. Let's love different. Let's be a church that refuses to retaliate, refuses to gossip, refuses to hold grudges, and instead we work on practicing what I call radical Jesus-style love. Let's do that. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope this video encouraged and challenged you. If you want to go even deeper, the full message is waiting for you. If you're interested, all you have to do is click on it because it's coming up right now. And while you're here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss what's next.